My name is Sophia Musa. I am a final year student at Kenyatta University doing electrical and electronics engineering. In this project, I came in as the project manager and was also handling the branding and publicity of the project. So, the project in Turkana has been quite wholesome, in my opinion, and it especially gave additional emphasis on the importance of connecting marginalized communities to the internet and brought a new perspective on what I thought the internet's role was. See, if you are living in a city, most of the time your internet is for streaming and maybe attending classes and some general applications. But when you come here, internet is the difference between you talking to your family and you not, considering the rates at which SIM airtime voucher calls cost in the country. So I've learned a lot in terms of deploying community networks, in terms of what is required to successfully deploy and implement a community network of the scale that Internet for All Kakuma project is going to be deployed at. When in engineering, particularly majoring in telecommunications, participating in the deployment of my first ever community network has been a really great opportunity. I also got to interact with the community and the direct beneficiaries of the project, and that helped in growing the perspectives in terms of what else can be done to make the project much more effective in the future. And there's also the element of possible expansion of the project and additional partnerships in terms of communications within this region and increasing the access to internet resources for the community. So conflict in terms of the benefit of you taking a STEM course, especially in a region like this, because when we were talking to a lot of people who live here, the opportunities that are available for people with specific expertise, especially in terms of engineering, IT, it's quite limited for people in the refugee camps. But by expanding the access of the community to the internet, I think they'll get more exposed to other opportunities that aren't confined within being a refugee in Kakuma camp or being a foreigner in Kenyan soil. There will be more outside. So I think having the community networks around and increasing connectivity, especially where we are deploying it in GIV, where they're actively working towards getting the youths involved, it will help in girls seeing and being on the front lines of adoption of STEM resources and STEM skills for their future in case they leave the camp.
So my name is Dr. Kennedy Rono. I'm a lecturer in Strathmore University. I teach mainly networking and telecommunications. Other than that, I'm also someone who is passionate about connecting the unconnected. Okay, I'm passionate about community networks because of the impact it can bring. So there are two things about connectivity, about community networks. Number one, bringing affordable connectivity, or number two, bringing new connectivity to a place where there is no connectivity at all. So in Kenya, for example, there are areas where you have mobile broadband, but that connectivity is not affordable to the citizens because they have to buy bundles every other time. Okay, and then also in Kenya, there are areas where ISPs have not reached, so there is no connectivity at all. So community networks can then be used to bridge that gap where there is no connectivity at all. So there are two ways community networks can be set up. Either the community themselves organize to form that community network, or it could also be community networks can also be set up by non-profit organizations whereby they see a place where there is no connectivity or no affordable connectivity, so they go to that community and form a community network. Yeah, so I got ComSoc Kenya involved with community networks because myself, I'm a member of Internet Society. I'm a member of IEEE, and in addition to that, I'm also a member of ComSoc Kenya. So because of my interest in community networks, in one of the meetings, I invited one of the engineers who have been involved in community networks, someone called Alonso Dambo, to make a talk about community networks. By making an application for this grant known as the Internet for All. So we applied as a team of IEEE Kenya ComSoc members. And then number two, around 2 years ago, I, being the vice chair of IEEE ComSoc Kenya, I invited someone to talk about community networks in one of the meetings.
My name is Alonso Dambo. I'm a network engineer by profession. In this project, I'm taking the tech lead role, and I'm glad that we are doing it in the Turkana refugee camp. I've been involved in community networks since 2018. I think that is around more than 5 years, and I've supported 13 community networks in network deployment, training on community networks services, and also doing community network grassroots engineer courses for those who really are interested in community network activities. Apart from that, I've also supported in the policy drive, a policy formation for community network license in Kenya, which led to the formation of the first framework for community networks license in Kenya. My passion for community networks is triggered by the fact that most of our communities are still behind in terms of connectivity and access to digital devices, digital opportunities, and that gaps really cause a lot of, let's say, socioeconomic disintegration, because there are parts of the country or the world where these opportunities are really supporting lives, and yet in some other parts there are people who really struggle even to make a call via WhatsApp, for example, and that really causes a digital divide, if you might say. So my focus is just to make sure that each and every person, regardless of their socioeconomic background, they have access to equal digital opportunities. And the one way to do that is to promote connectivity for the unconnected. So Internet for All project, we really thought big. It was a really serious consultation, just to make sure that we give people internet, people who really deserve it. And looking at the context of a refugee camp, it is a home to very many nations, very many people coming together from different countries and communities around the world. But one thing which is dominant around the refugee camp is the fact that there's a disconnection between refugees and their families back at home. And the only way they can connect back with their families and have a conversation or a meaningful access to their families back from where they came from is through internet. So we really think that this is going to be a platform for them to be able to connect without using voucher. You cannot make a call overseas using a credit or voucher. So the only platform maybe is Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all that to connect, and only internet can power that kind of a lifestyle. I see a future where refugees will feel the same way the Kenyans are feeling, having equal digital access, having access to digital opportunities, and also even empowering their economic activities, because some of them will be able to use this internet to make a living, work online, do business, promote their businesses. So it is a platform where I think at the end of it, we'll have a more empowered community, a more informed communities, and also trying to integrate the host community and the refugees, because there is that disintegration between the host communities feeling that this is their land, and also the refugee side feeling that they are foreigners in this space. So internet is the only platform that will flatten that kind of disintegration.
The partnership happened because we've had a long relationship with, we've known each other. I mean, I and Rono, we've known each other for a long time. And Action pour le Progrès have been participating in capacity building of CNs in Kenya. And that is how we came to know each other, Rono and I, and Engineer Alphonse. Then they came to learn about what we do as a community network. And they were also interested to support us strengthen the network that we have, and that's how we came to partner. Maybe a little bit background is that when we did set up our community network, we ventured a lot into computer and phone repair. We could train youth on how to repair computers and phones. And now with this project, we are now able to expand the community network by bringing in the aspect of access to internet. Well, I think for me in the coming years, the community network is the way to go for several reasons, particularly with the marginalized refugee community in Kenya. When you look at the people we have in the camp, including myself, we come from countries where if you are to make a normal phone call, it is costly. And now when we talk about internet, access to internet, this is now what we are going to champion, is that homes will have access to internet, institutions will have access to internet. That is quite affordable. We are not a business. We just want something to kind of sustain the internet so that our people can also get connected on the internet, and they can also get connected with their people back in their countries. But again, in Kenya, the president is talking about a digital livelihood, you know. And with this digital space in Kenya, we're also taking advantage of that so that our own refugee colleagues can use the internet to study, can use the internet to share their expertise, can use the internet to also work and earn a living. That is the way we are taking.
My name is John. I am from Global Innovation Valley, a community network located in Kalobeyei refugee settlement. As a community network, part of the Kenya chapter of the community networks in Kenya, we were asked to take part with the ComSoc project of internet deployment within the refugee settlement. Well, basically we are looking into having the internet connection for the local area or local population, whereby they can be in the position to acquire and navigate through online or internet in terms of even communicating with the people around and those outside their local communities. And we are looking into, after the handover, we are looking into connecting more people within the refugee settlement and having sustainable internet for the entire refugee settlement. Personally, I love internet. I am a fan of internet. I know that I have a say that internet is one of the greatest weapons to use to acquire knowledge, skills. Basically, I think having the connection, it will not only help me to acquire new understanding whereby I can be searching on the web, but also using it to educate, empower, and transform the lives of other people and refugees around the refugee settlement.